What's up, gang? It's your boy Tyler, and you're watching the most trash show on YouTube, Garage Goons. And today, just had to make sure I had them with me still. I want to go over the new Cruz Boxing gloves I picked up. Now, these ones are 16-ounce gloves. They are made in this dude's garage or shop. It looks like his garage, man, honestly. In the United States. So if you want American-made products and you're always saying you want to buy American whatever, you want to support local business, you want to support people, small mom and pop businesses, this is a way you can do it, and it's affordable, guys. Look at this beautiful glove, okay? It's full leather. It's a beautiful glove. Now, I just took it out of the plastic because I'm going to give it to one of my students, but I have used it once. I just came back from the gym. I did three rounds on the bag. But let me tell you what I like about these gloves. Let me tell you if I think they're worth it. Let me tell you about how much I paid and all that. All right. So these are the 16-ounce leather boxing gloves. And I'll give you a close-up here so you can kind of see. Okay. Look at that. And it's got this beautiful Aztec symbol on there. You can also get a badge that just says Cruz Boxing. I will link his Instagram in the description. And also, you know, I think you can reach out to him on Instagram. And he has a website now too. So that's really nice. These are handcrafted. You can see him sewing these things on his Instagram. It's fucking dope. Okay. So I weighed these gloves. These are 16-ounce gloves. I weighed them and they came in at 15.7 ounces and 15.8 ounces. So really freaking close to right on the money. To me, within 4 or 5 ounces, that's to me considered right on the money. If you want to be a stickler, yeah, one of them was 2 ounces and one of them, or excuse me, was 0.2 ounces. One of them was 0.3 ounces off. But that's pretty damn close. And for a mom and pop shop to get that close to dead nuts on weight, that's fucking fantastic. The leather is a smoother grain leather. And you can kind of just, the first thing I noticed when I opened it, when I took these out of the bag, is you'll notice, like, still right now, even after I use them, just a really fantastic leather smell. You can smell maybe some of the glues and stuff too, but just that rich leather smell. I love these gloves, guys, and I couldn't wait till I get to the price, man. You won't believe this shit, okay? These are the Velcro variants. He also makes them in lace, and I believe they are the same price. So if you're a Velcro guy like me, you don't have to pay any extra for that, and if you're a lace guy, you don't have to pay any extra. For me, this thumb is really a really good thumb. You'll see when I cut to the video of me, the part of the video where I'm working the bag, I'm throwing a lot of hooks and overhands, and I do that on purpose because those are the punches where I'm jamming my thumb when I have some of my other gloves that the thumb is not perfectly placed. This is nice. Even when I really grip and make a good fist here, the thumb doesn't curl in too much. There's enough room with this attached thumb here at the tip to where it doesn't pull your thumb in too tight or make it bend in a weird angle. The grip bar is really nice spongy grip bar. I would say it's about I would say it's medium. You know, it's not the biggest grip bar, it's also not the smallest, but it is a nice grip bar. It's in a very good spot. On the thumb there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3 air holes. It's an attached thumb with a leather attachment, and across the palm you have 1, 2, 3, 4 air holes, which I love. It does have the elastic band right here, and it's perfectly placed. I talked about in my MK1 gloves that I didn't like that it went right over my thumb fat here. It kind of, I've said it, I wish it was either down here or up higher so it's not resting across this. This is just below it, so it's perfect. I love where the elastic band is on these. And then the stitching, I was looking at this, single stitching on the outside, double stitching all around the opening here. And it is, this guy's doing this by hand, guys. You can go on his Instagram and watch him make these gloves if you scroll far enough down. And the stitching is impeccable. I've spent $250 on gloves before, and it is on par with some of the best stitching you can get. Even like on this back seam, you know, where a lot of times stuff gets bunched up where he double backs and then he stops it right here so it doesn't look all crazy. Like, there's a lot of details that he thought about that a lot of companies, you know, might oversee or it might be an oversight, you know what I mean? But this is like craftsmanship quality. This guy cares about his work. I did pay for these gloves, and these go for $75 as of right now. I bought them in mid-December, and I got them on January 2nd, I believe. So I've had these for like 4 days now, but these are fantastic gloves. They are IMF foam. So if you're not familiar with IMF, the only one that's allowed to call that type of foam IMF is top ringside, that's what it is, ringside. So a lot of people call it ringside foam, but basically it's a polyurethane foam that has already been molded, and there's like a one specific mold that they have that makes them all the same depending on the size, 12, 14, 16 ounce, whatever. And then you wrap, and then it's just a foam mold, and then you wrap the leather around it and then sew it to that, and then you kind of, I guess, get more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A uniqueness or you know, something that makes the glove special after the fact, because all the molds are generally pretty much the same when they're IMF, okay? And you can actually go, and if you really want to know about IMF stuff, you can go on 1v1 on YouTube and Google 1v1 boxing, how it's made. Jason shows you kind of like how IMF foam is and how it works, but that's another video for another time. So let's talk about the wrist support here, okay? I felt good when I was hitting the bag and stuff, and I definitely feel locked in. However, because of the softer padding here, it's not like there's no padding in the wrist. It's just not, they don't use like a latex or a rubber, something more stiff and rigid to kind of lock your wrist into place. So there is a little bit of a hinge point between this part of the glove and the hand compartment. So as you can see, it's kind of hanging down a little bit. So just to give you an idea, you know, I can do that with this one. I have other gloves where I can hold it by this part and it's not going to flop like that. So there is a natural hinge point there. So if you do have wrist problems, maybe not the ideal glove for you. You know, here's the other one. But they use really good Velcro. The thumb is fantastic, great thumb. I didn't feel like the piping on my thumb fat, the fat part of my thumb right here that attaches to my palm, I didn't feel like the piping that went over that was too tight. It's a really, really good glove. For the price, I think it's going to be hard to beat. One thing I don't necessarily like is that there's a plastic badge on the back here. So IMF foam is a pretty universally good foam for training gloves. You can hit the bag, you can hit mitts, you can spar with it, but sparring etiquette wise, you generally either want to have a logo that is ironed on or embroidered, or a cloth badge here. This plastic, that's a natural point right there that could cut somebody, and that's not a good thing. He did, I think he did think about that a little bit, and he did put the piping over the top and the bottom of it, but still this side part here is exposed on this plastic badge here, and I would change that. I would move that to cloth if possible. I don't know if it's more expensive to go cloth or what, but it is a cool logo. Cruz Boxeo con estilo, meaning boxing Mexican style. You know what I mean? And it is, if you look at the profile of the glove, it does have that slight higher ridge point, right, towards the top two knuckles. So I was landing all my punches really well. These are just so beautifully stitched. I don't know how well you can see just how, like, there's an extra stitching coming down the thumb here. Like this, the designs of this are just, they're definitely custom. This isn't like a copy and paste or like a winning clone. And one thing I did also notice too is right out of the box, they were easy to open. Like I said, I just got these and look how easy these are. My student is going to love getting these. I can't wait to give these to him on Thursday when I'm teaching my class next. Okay. I will, you know, they're IMF foam, medium density, whatever. So now we will cut to me working the bag, and then I'll give you final thoughts on performance. Are they worth it? And who are these gloves for? All right. So, all right, let's cut to that.
Round 3.
All right, gang, so we're back. You saw me working the bag. You saw me throwing a lot of hooks and overhands, trying to see if it would jam my thumb. Really good protection, really great thumb when you're throwing punches, when it's performing. Performs really well. I personally didn't notice any problems with my wrists. I have over the years damaged my left wrist for whatever reason, not turning my hooks over, but I think I've fixed that mechanically. You know, over the years, so that's not as big of a problem for me. I still do occasionally not turn my right hook over or my left hook, and sometimes I'll jam my thumb, but this thumb is so well placed. It's got a nice gentle curve here. You know, it's just a really good thumb, very comfortable. I have big hands, and even in my wraps, these felt good. These are, I wouldn't say they're traditional Mexican style gloves in the traditional Mexican sense, because there's no horsehair or latex in here. And it is IMF, which is a, excuse me, a ringside style foam or whatever, which is like in a more American company. However, the big boxy style, that is definitely a Mexican style. Flat punch surface, Mexican style. The thumb is kind of like a big, wide, flat thumb, but it's got a nice curve into it. That's a more Mexican style thumb, because it's not, you know, it's big and flat instead of like kind of more curved and narrow like a winning thumb. So it's a very, like the architecture of the glove is very Mexican style, but the guts, the inside of the glove, I would say is more modern, if you will. Now, it felt fine on my hand. When I was hitting the bag, I wouldn't say I was getting great pop, so I didn't feel like it was really bouncing off the bag or but it was very, very nice on my knuckles. I didn't get knuckle fatigue. I've been having back problems this week, so I only did 4 rounds on the bag. But my knuckles didn't get sore. Nothing got sore. Nothing was hurt. And these are brand new gloves. I would say these gloves are okay to spar in if you tape this off, or you got to be real careful with this part of the badge here, because that could definitely cut somebody. But I would say beat on these for a couple of weeks before you go in, because they are a more dense foam. This is not going to be pleasant to hit with. Now, I do know some Muay Thai guys that, spar in, the Fairtex BGV1s, and those things freaking suck to get hit with, even if they're brand new out of the box, because there is no foam over the knuckles. All the foam is here and here. So, some guys have gloves that are worse to spar in than these, but these will probably break in after 2-3 weeks of heavy use, and then you can go ahead and spar with them. Now, keep in mind too, with IMF foam, it is all one piece, one block of foam. So it does tend to wear evenly, but the downside to that is, as far as IMF style foam is considered, once it gets some moisture in there and sweat and stuff, it'll last you maybe 2 years, maybe 3 if you really take care of them. The foam itself breaks down, and I've even seen gloves that have like the foam inside of it has cracked, like there's been a full crack. So IMF is not a bad foam, it's just one of the more affordable, cheaper made foams, and it doesn't last nearly as long as like a latex or like that under the carpet style foam that a lot of boxing gloves use, or a lot of them use EVA foam that will last a lot longer. Some of them are even using polymers and stuff like that now, so that'll last you longer. So IMF is, I'm not saying it's bottom of the barrel, it's just the easiest foam to manufacture, because it's just, you shoot it, it starts as a liquid and it hardens as a foam. You shoot it into a mold and then it's there. So this is a really great glove for the price point, but foam wise, I think the interior is the only place you're really, I'm not saying compromising, but it's definitely, like, material wise going to be cheaper than like a latex glove or something like that. Okay. So, but if you do have knuckle problems, or if you get knuckle fatigue easily, you get sore hands, whatever, IMF foam might be great for you, because it is super protective. I was getting sinkage, it wasn't like my pillow gloves, where like my Fighting Fury gloves, where it was deadening my punches and I couldn't push my fingers all the way through. I was getting some knuckle seepage in there, but it definitely wasn't like my hit moves or even my MK1s. These ones were my knuckles were going about halfway through, and then the shot was deadening. So yeah, if you're a Muay Thai guy, just keep in mind there's 0 padding on the palm, okay? So that could be a pro or a con. Some guys like padding on the palm, some guys don't. But if you block kicks with it, you will feel the full kick, okay? And also, like I said, the padding along the wrist is kind of soft. I would change that. And there's no padding, there's no like backstop padding like a lot of gloves are adding right here now. It's just pure leather. So it's really, kind of flimsy right here. And if I was going to change it, I would have padding going past this point from the top down, connecting it, or at least a bar going across here to stop it from doing that so easily. So for, people that have flimsy wrists, that would be, something that would help them out. But otherwise, I think, it's really hard to find a glove that's going to be more value than this for $75. It's made in America, supporting a local business, right? Really good, like high quality materials as far as the leather and the Velcro. This guy was cool as hell. He was, we were in talks. He was going to give me one to review on my channel a while ago, and I ended up saying, no, I'm going to pay you for a pair. So, but the guy was so cool. Last thing, on the inside, you got a tricot liner, kind of soft. There's no bunching up, nothing like that. On the back side of the wrist here, over the Velcro, it's just like, it feels like a hard piece of maybe leather under there, but it's really stiff, but very comfortable. It's just not padded. There's no padding right here. There is padding on the bottom side here and here, on the inside of your, bottom side of your wrist, but on the back side of your wrist here, it's pretty firm. And like I said, very comfortable, wide hand compartment with perfect placement, in my opinion, on the elastic strap going across there, and good Velcro. Okay, so yeah, $75, guys. If you are trying to up your game, but maybe you're not ready for dropping $200, $300, $400 on one of these heritage brands, this would be a good intermediate level glove for anybody who's been boxing a while and you want to step up out of your stupid Everlast or your ringside gloves that are not as good. Okay, and also the finger compartment, perfect, at least for my hands, and I have big hands. There's a secondary grip bar under there where they put all of the they mold up all of the seams so you don't feel the seams on the tips of your fingers. That would be really uncomfortable. So it's a very comfortable glove, very well made, very easy to open out of the box. Good knuckle protection. Not the best wrist protection, but hey man, for $75, it's hard to beat this value. So yeah, man, check out the dude's Instagram. Go talk to him. He's cool as hell. Give the man your business. You're supporting American business made by a Mexican-American dude who's really, really cool. And he does giveaways too sometimes. And yeah, these are the Cruz Boxing 16-ounce gloves. Garage Goons. Can't wait to give this to my student. Garage Goons, the most trash show on YouTube. And we are out of this bitch.